What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the RTG career mode. It's episode number 51, returning today on the back of ending the season in the last episode, losing the FA Cup final, but winning our first ever Premier League with Swansea today. We're starting a brand new season in our title defence year with 170 million in the budget. That's about what I was expecting. I was thinking 150 to 175. That's the tail end of what I was expecting, but that's a very high budget now. But it's enough for us to bring in a couple of great superstars that I said could make the difference between us winning multiple honours and just one more major honour. So looking at the side for Season 7, there's no doubt about it. It's one of the best teams in England, one of the best teams in Europe, and this year, of course, definitely do want to challenge for a Champions League after last year being knocked out in the first knockout round. I said it last season, like, to me, I think with the players we've got coming back from loan, a lot of them as well, we got plenty of depth here for the new season, so I think we're alright with that. But to me, I think we're like one superstar away from being able to challenge for a League and Cup double or a League and Champions League double, basically a double. Including the league, retaining the league, and another major honour as well. We haven't won a double since the save began yet. And to me, we talked about it at the end of last season. I would say really it's here. Yeah, this is the concern here. Do we start Scott Clark this year back from his 2 great years on loan at Wolves, or do we cash in on a youngster like we've done with a few of our other young talents in this save, and then bring in a superstar goalkeeper? Do we look to replace Yusuf at DM as much as we love the Warrior, as much as we love the Iron Man? Say, right, Alisson, it's time to come off the bench now and look for a world-class DM, or move Fjolman to DM and look for a world-class CB. That to me is the tough decision. You know, we love these players. We don't really want to replace them, but you know, sometimes you want to be the best. You need to make very tough decisions. And the tough decisions will continue here as well, because obviously we do have a few players to deal to come at the end of the year, including Ogawa, who I want to loan out once again. He's growing brilliantly out on loan at Fenerbahce, but I'll give him a contract before we do that. Jordan Boz is out of contract coming the end of the season. Has the Aussie had his time come to an end here? He's no longer growing at 26 years old and 83 overall. Hugo Bueno is just as good and came at the start of last season. Do we look to sell the Aussie, or do we extend the contract as well? Joe, he's not retiring. Well, I wanted him to retire, but even so, do we sell Rodden, you know, or just keep him for the squad and give him an extra 1-year contract as well? There are some tough decisions to make here. So we'll loan Davis out once again. There are some tough decisions to make here. But ultimately, again, with the money we've got, we don't need to sell anyone. That's the thing. We don't need to sell anyone. We don't need to sell a star player in order to bring someone else in. That's the one lucky thing we've got. We've got a ton of money to work with. We'll still probably sell 1 or 2 fringe players as well. But we've got plenty of money to work with, and plenty of money to bring in that one superstar who I believe is going to make the difference between us, again, winning a double or just winning a single once again. The past 3 years, we won 1 trophy each single season. This year, I want to win at least a double. And of course, with Ferguson as well, that is the biggest decision of the lot. Do we sell him, or do we just pretend this hasn't happened? Do we just completely ignore this dumpster fire of a situation? So I've just given out a few contracts. Tyler Johnson has got an extension, the young American. He's growing nicely. Ogawa, of course, getting a new deal as well. He's a heck of a young goalkeeper. They're going to try and loan out once again. And they're also given 2 contracts to the starters who we were unsure about, but I think they deserve more money in at least another couple of years, in Jordan Boz and of course the Iron Man Al Hassan Yusuf. Like, I say this a lot, but like the overall to me is of course incredibly important. Of course it is. It's a good indicator as to how good a player actually is, but the most important thing is how they play for you, how you play with them. And Boz and Yusuf, since coming in, have done absolutely nothing wrong in all these years in the Premier League. So yeah, they're both going to be staying here for the long term. But as for these players here, I have to say, I think Rabi Matondo, we only really brought him in as the Elliott List 2.0, but I don't think we need an Elliott List 2.0. Maybe we need an Elliott List 3.0. We don't need a 2.0. These youngsters here, I'm not too sure what their ceilings are. I think Healy's probably got the best ceiling out of a lot of them, so I might just keep him here for the rest of the season and then possibly give him a new deal come the end of the year. But for Endo and Price, we've got depth in those areas. I don't think we need to keep them. And as for Joe Rodham and Morgan Whittaker, Morgan, I don't know. Joe, well, whether he's retiring or not, is going to be his final season, for sure. But in terms of new signings, I already know who my number 1 transfer target is going to be for this season. And that is going to be a new CB. And the reason why is because this fits like a glove. We've talked about Unai Emery building an amazing side at Aston Villa, both in real life and in the save as well. But last year they finished in 9th place, missing out on European football altogether. But they've got some world-class talent that wouldn't want to have a year outside of Europe, especially as they're approaching their twilight years in professional top-level football. And they'll want to be at a world-class team. A player I've never used before, but since moving on from the Gunners to Villa Park, he's grown to 89 overall. And out of contract come the end of the season, available on a cut price deal. Talk about a match made in heaven. William Saliba, for the first time ever, I'm bringing him in. Yep, don't think I've ever used him before, much to my knowledge at least. But again, available on a Leicester market valuation deal. Means that we should be able to get him for around, I would say, 62.5 to 72.5 mil. And in the end, the first bid accepted £62.5 million for a 28-year-old, 89 rated Saliba. What a bargain. Yeah, I don't think I've used him before. Maybe I have, but I can't remember. But in this save, for the first time arriving as a Swansea player, welcome to South Wales, William Saliba. Buzzing with this as well, man, because again, he's literally the perfect fit. You know, with a team that last year finished outside of a European place, in the prime of his career, but knowing that it won't be too many years before he's past the 30 marker, and it's always a tough feeling when that happens. And coming back to what is now the Premier League champions and Champions League football as well, it's just a match made in heaven for the French centre-half. He takes Joe Rodden's number as the captain relinquishes to number 5. Appreciate it, model professional Joe, as William Saliba will take his number and his place as our new starting CB. Welcome, Mr. Saliba. Buzzing with that, and again, still getting better. Even at 28 years old, so no doubt about it. He'll become 90 overall during the season. Might even get to go to 91, to be fair, as well. But there's basically no weak spot on this guy. He's quick, he's got great defensive awareness at 91, fantastic tackle at 97 jumping, means he'll never lose an aerial duel. What an absolute baller, man. And the perfect complement to Pacho as the LCB. What a steal for 62.5 mil. So with our budget now down to £94 million. Well, here we go. Straight away we're getting the bids for Ferguson. I feel as though, I don't know whether I'm right in saying this, but I feel as though when a player does request a transfer in their first season, that's actually a pretty solid deal. We're going to turn it down. I feel like when a player requests a transfer in their first season, they can't leave within that season. But if you go into the new season, then they'll start getting the bids as we expected. So I don't know what to do with Ferguson. I really don't. We can probably get around 130 to 140 mil, possibly 145 mil max, but it makes no sense. Like, 20 Premier League goals last season, probably should have had more, but you know, FA Cup finalists, started practically every single game. I'm stuttering, I'm stammering because I'm frustrated. Like, it shouldn't happen, you know. So I don't know what to do here. I really don't. We're going to get a bid practically every 2 days or so, as Rabi Matondo's one of Bayern's Outmar. But I don't know what I'm going to do about it. If I get a bid that seems to fit, then I might let him go. Like, if it's like a Real Madrid, for example, that's a bit different. But I'm not just going to sell him for the sake of it. Again, if it's a superstar, global powerhouse, then maybe. But otherwise, I think I'll just keep him here. 5 mil from Matondo, he's off to AZ Alkmaar. Oh, and there's a loan bid from Stade Rennais for Ogawa as well. This guy needs to play. We've got 3 goalkeepers now. They're 82 rated or higher. And Ogawa, 2 years there in Liga with Stade Rennais. That, I think, we're doing the world of good. So he grew brilliantly at Fenerbahce. Everyone grows in Turkey. What a country. I love this. Luton want to take Tyler Johnson as well. Yes, Mr. Rob Edwards, you are more than welcome, sir. And who was the other club that wanted Evan Ferguson? Inter Milan. That's not, well, to be fair, that one. But I don't want to sell him, though. This is the thing, I don't want to sell him. You know, the Serie A champions last year. But I don't want to sell him, man. We're Premier League champions, for goodness sake. So, Leipzig want to take Amir Davis on loan. I'm going to turn this one down. I don't think he'll start there. But Orgal will definitely start there at Stade Rennais. So we'll negotiate that split there and try and get him out to Ligue 1 after 2 solid years at Fenerbahce. Now he's off to France for a couple of years. I think what I'm going to do with the situation with Carl and Clark is start Clark and have Carl possibly as my cup goalkeeper this year. Play him in the cup, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and maybe the Champions League as well. But Scott Clark starting in the Premier League because he's going to get to 86 overall very quickly. The only downside to his stats right now is positioning, speed, and I guess the handling's not the best. But other than that, he's better than Carl in practically every category. So yeah, with that being the case, I think I'll start Clark and have Carl again as our cup goalkeeper this year. Okay, I don't mind that one. Ethan Price going to Sturm Graz. It's a £4 million split negotiated, or £4 million fee, I should say. With Sturm Graz. Villarreal, I want to take him in. I'd rather keep him within the football pyramid if possibly though, so I'll turn that one down just for now. Got plenty of time, so I'm going to be selective of where I send my players out on loan if I wish to do so. And there we go. So Ravi Matondo is the first man out the door for this season if you don't count Marchetti's leaving on a free transfer. And for Ravi, came in just as the early at this 2.0. We never expected him to be a superstar, but he gave us solid minutes from the bench. A couple of goals here or there, a couple of assists here or there. But he's off to AZ Alkmaar for £5 million. We'll take the fee. Why are we constantly selling all of our players to the Netherlands? Everyone's off there to the Eredivisie. So, more bids here. Sociedad want to take Ander Mendoza on loan. I love that deal there with him being Spanish, of course. He's grown brilliantly as well, now 81 overall. And I could keep him for the squad, but to be honest here, actually I could keep him for the squad. Got to think about that. Dedic wanted by Bologna, going nowhere though. This guy's been consistently brilliant, and Milan want Moreira, but I'm greedy. I want both of those right backs down. Who else wanted Price? Oh, Boa Vista. We'll quickly negotiate that to 4 mil. And just get a little bit of money, just a little bit of money for a squad player out of contract who isn't going to play regardless. 4 mil from the Portuguese side, totally fine with me. And Arsenal want to take Amir Davis this time. Don't think he's going to start there, to be honest. As Luton are okay with the Tyler Johnson deal. And to be fair, we did say a global powerhouse, but last year's runners-up, the best team in the save, and obviously the side who beat us comfortably in the FA Cup final. No, you're not doing a Kevin Durant, Mr. Ferguson. You're not going there, mate. I'm so willing to sell you to someone, but there's only really one club I'm thinking about here. Where's that Tyler Johnson deal? There we go. We'll quickly negotiate this split, and it's always 60-40. I think you probably can, if you want to, negotiate a wage split. But to be honest here, it just seems to always reset for me. So with that being the case, I'm totally fine at 60-40 every time. So there we go. Ethan Price off to Sturm Graz to 4 mil. Again, don't get much money for it, but gets his salary off the books and frees up a squad spot. Following that, we see that now Liverpool want to take Amir Davis on loan. No, he's not going to start there. Celta Vigo want Toshiendo. Don't mind that. Well, sorry, Newcastle. It's not going to be a 1-1 for Pacho. He's staying. And Aston Villa want to bring in Evan Ferguson. Well, we just gave him a load of money for Saliba, but you know, from Championship to Champions League to ninth place Aston Villa. No, that's not going to happen. It's Real Madrid or no one, Evan. Turn down this bid for Pacho. For Endo, I actually thought this guy could become a pretty decent fullback, to be fair, but 20 years old, 69 overall, he barely grew in China at all, to be honest, which surprised me, actually. Like, a lot of our players have had big boosts since coming back, obviously. I mean, no one more so than Tattoo, but Bangura, Clark as well, but Endo just never really grew there. So let's try and get 2.9 mil. I'm so stingy. Like this to a club of our size now, with the money we got, really shouldn't make that much of a difference. But it's the principle of the matter. I'm not underselling a player. And now we see Ogawa has agreed to join Stade Rennais on a 2-year loan. He got some pointers off Joe Rodden, who of course spent a year there with Spurs out on loan. And now Ogawa's going to go there himself. I think they're doing the world of good there out in France. And again, I do see this guy as potentially our future #1, but right now, you know, he's going to be behind Carl and Clark as well, and he needs the game time. He grew brilliantly as Fenerbahce's #1, so hopefully he'll do the same there in Ligue 1. I'll keep an eye on his progress. Another loan offer for Amir Davis. which just doesn't make any sense. He's 78 overall. Listen, he's a great fullback. He's growing really well. But, I mean, unless I'm missing something here, Real Madrid, Liverpool and Arsenal, like, how is he going to start in any of those three teams, man? Real Madrid, they sleep on Evan Ferguson, but they love Amir Davis. So, of course, that one's getting turned down. Interestingly enough, a bid for Boz, who, again, if we didn't, yeah, I'm fine with that one there from Mechelen. If we didn't just give a new contract to, I actually wouldn't be against letting him go to Wolfsburg. That would kind of make sense. But I often say this, when a player has just signed a contract, to me, they're off limits in that transfer window. At the very earliest, I might sell them or maybe sign them in the next one. But if they've just signed a new deal, literally in Jordan's case, 12 days ago, they're not going to go now. He's off limits now. Oh, this is ridiculous now. Xavi now wants to... What am I missing with Amir Davis here, guys? Am I missing something here? Like, like, the numbers actually been flipped around and he's actually 97 overall. 87 overall, not 78 overall. Am I missing something? Listen, he's growing really nicely, but... You'd think he'd probably go out on loan to someone like Everton, you know, or Crystal Palace, not Barcelona, or Real Madrid, Liverpool or Arsenal. Of course, I'm turning that one down as well. Yet another bid coming in for Ferguson. Again, I said it's Real Madrid or no one, and that's close. That's about as close as it can get, but it's still a no. Evan, look, I'll sell you to Real Madrid, but you're not going anywhere else. And Dedic, also wanted by another Serie A side again. He's going nowhere. We love Amar, man. So another loan deal completed as Tyler Johnson is off to Luton to play at Kenilworth Road for a couple of years. We'll keep an eye on him there, as Luton is still a Premier League side right now. Endo's just declined a move to Celta Vigo. That's interesting. Why? Has he rejected that one as well? No, he's still thinking about it. Interesting. Don't normally see that. Okay, fair enough. And there you go. So I think for Mendoza's wrong. I'm going to keep him. Because I don't mind him going to Sociedad. It kind of makes sense. But when you look at the side right now, 81 overall, that's good enough to be on the bench. With Sinistera, you know, quite a few injuries, not the best of returns in terms of goals to game ratio. I might just sell him. We know that Whittaker's going to go at some point with only 12 months left in his deal. I think for Mendoza, I'm going to do a U-turn here. I plan to loan him out. But instead, I see this guy getting quite a few minutes in our team this season. So Mendoza's going to stay. There we go. The Endo deal this time goes through. Normally, they always choose the team where they'll get the highest salary. I would have thought he'd get more salary at Celta Vigo than Mechelen. But even so, Endo is off to Belgium, so we'll take that. So our budget now is £105 million. Again, not really raising much money for the sales coming in. Only 11.9 mil for the free. But it's enough to bring in another star player for the team. I just want another elite player. And mainly I want to sort out what's going on with Evan Ferguson first as well. So for now, we're sort of just trundling along a little bit. We've only made the one signing in Saliba. We don't need to bring anyone else in just yet. Despite having all that money, I often say it's like you don't need to spend it. Just because you have the money doesn't mean you need to splash the cash. As Ander now wanted by Roy Hodgson. I need to take off the loan list and I'm going to keep him now. And Manchester United want Joe Rodden, funny enough, for his final few years. But the club captain is going to stay at least for one more year. And now Real Madrid want Boz. They want Davis, they want Jordan, but they don't want Ferguson. So he just turned down a couple of bids and failed on a negotiation with Ryan Healy. Fulham now want Pacho, of course, going nowhere. Moreira also going nowhere as well. And another bid for Ryan, this time coming in from Monaco. Failed to get the money I wanted from Atletico. I don't mind letting this guy go, to be fair. He's a decent young player, but I had a contract coming at the end of the season, barely going to start this year. I might just look to cash in instead. But at the moment, the bids we're getting just aren't meeting my personal market valuation. So the good thing about a player at this age, right, you know what, I'm going to turn one down. The good thing about a player at this age as well, for those that may not play career mode or are new to career mode, is that when you've got a young player who's deal up come the end of the season, you don't have to worry about him leaving on a pre-contract during the season because he's under the age of when a pre-contract can be offered. So I'm sure you know about pre-contracts. Basically, any player that's 23 or over with just 1 year left on their deal can leave on a pre-contract and sign a free transfer to a new club for the next season onwards. But when a player is just 20 years old, it means that Ryan might turn 21 during the season, but he'll still be too young to be poached away on a free transfer. So we don't need to worry about the January window coming round and someone snapping up on a pre-contract. We can keep him for the rest of the season and then decide to give him a new contract at the end of the campaign if we wish to do so. So you've got the whole year to worry about sorting out a contract as opposed to just the first few months before January comes round. Now, we are getting a lot of bids for Dedic, but he's going nowhere, man. I love the Bosnian international. He's been great since coming in and staying with me. I'm just wondering if another bid comes from Ferguson, which will turn down here. I'm just wondering whether I should go ahead and put Whittaker on the transfer list. I was waiting for a bid to come in naturally. Hasn't happened yet, but again, he's not going to play now. 78 overall, and out of contract coming the end of the season, so I'm going to add him. I like to let bids come in naturally for players. Their deals are coming at the end of the year. I don't know if it makes a difference or not, but I do feel as though when you add a player to the transfer list, you normally struggle to get anything more than market valuation or substantially more than market valuation. But I don't know if it makes a difference or not if they have their deal that come at the end of the year. But as soon as we go into the transfer list there, we should get some bids for Morgan. This is getting a bit silly now. Although that one's a little bit different, to be fair. That was a little bit different. With Manchester United, I can kind of understand it. Brought in Sergio Reguilon on loan, of course, for this season in real life, but it's still going to be a no. I want to sell him somewhere I know he's going to be a star. Oh, that's real. I like that. That's nice, that. Gary O'Neill said, 2 great years with us, Scott. Do you want to stay permanently? Sorry, Gary, but it's time for him to test his ability against the very best in Europe now, going into the Champions League. I quite like that. But he's going to be staying here. I can't believe I've not had a single bid for Morgan Whittaker yet, though. This is. Oh, there we go. Ask and you shall receive. And I quite like it as well. Of course, we'll turn this one down for John. What if I'm going to block offers now as well? He's just signed a new contract. But there we go. Bid for Whittaker from Forest. I quite like that, to be fair. That's reasonably realistic. And I might be able to squeeze an extra million out of Nuno there for the ex-Plymouth Argyle winger. 13 mil? Nah, it's solid. Valuation then. Valuation deal, 12 mil for Steve Cooper in the end, for Morgan Whittaker. So there we go, Morgan Whittaker has gone to Nottingham Forest for £12 million. Appreciate the 4 years, bro, but I feel like now we're a Champions League side. Out of contract on the end of the season. Best to sell him somewhere he's got more chance of starting, and he definitely will at the City ground. Solid little squad player, to be fair, in the years we were here, but now I feel as though our team has kind of surpassed his ability a little bit. It's totally fine getting the money for him. As Aston Villa want to replace Saliba with Pacho. Lots of bids going in for Willian. But, of course, the Ecuadorian international is staying right here. So what's our budget up to now on the back of that sale there? 116 million with wage budget considerations. More like to be 107.5, 110, I would say. Looking at the team right now, I would like another player to compete for a starting role in this team. But really, other than CAM, I mean, where are they going to start? And Kanunen has been our best player for all these years, really. So it makes no sense. It makes no sense to do that. We just gave Boz a new contract. I guess we could make it a one and done for Bueno. And then have Jordan coming off the bench and bring in a star new left back, like a Nuno Mendes, for example, or a Theo Hernandez. But I don't know if I want to do that, man, because our back line is solid. We had the best defensive record in the division last year. It makes no sense to do that, really. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Very tough one. Just the bids keep coming. Dortmund now want to take Evan, but again, it's Real Madrid or nowhere, Evan. It's Real Madrid or nowhere. Dortmund, to be fair, I wouldn't be against, but last year they didn't win the championship. It was Bayern once again. So if you have Bayern, I think Bayern and Real Madrid are the only two places I'll probably sell him, to be fair. Is Sporting Gijon. I want to take you to Munoz on loan. Totally fine with that. He's like, is that a transfer? I thought it was a loan. No, sorry, I want to keep this guy. He's got great potential. Athletic Bilbao wants Sekou. Obviously, he can't play there. He's not Basque. And who's this bid from Ferguson? This time from Newcastle, the Magpies. Well, it's been talked about. But Newcastle last season, not a Champions League team, so again, that makes no sense to me now. Right, let's play the first game of the season before we do any more transfers. Community Shield against Manchester City. Haven't won one in the save thus far. Looking for revenge on the team that last season beat us in the FA Cup final here, 3-0. Come on, you Swans. Yeah, it's not the most coveted of trophies by any stretch of the imagination. When you're really stretching the definition of trophy when you consider the Community Shield. But technically it is, and as Scott Clark is making his debut out there today, I want to see a good performance from the man I've given the number 1 jersey to, as Carl will take 13 for this season. And Saliba making his Swansea debut in the back line as well. Don't want to start off with a loss this season, knowing that once again, will be competing with Man City for the major honours in English football. As Clark does well. 2 good saves early. A great chance. A bit of space for Tattoo. It's got to be one. He's round Nuno Mendes. And he puts it wide. My goodness. It's yours, Joe. Yours, mate. Yep, went in. It's going to drop straight to Rodrigo. There's Man City. Pick it back up. And again, I'd say we're the best 2 teams in England now. No doubt about it. Look at Man City's lineup. It's star-studded. It's incredible. I'd say they're still slightly better than us, despite the fact we won the championship last season. So, as Jude Bellingham fires in the opener, just like he did at Wembley last season in the FA Cup final. I don't know what it will take for us to become better than this Man City team. Time, I think. You know, time. Right now, we've made great improvements. We've added to the squad this year against Saliba and Clark coming back as well, but we're still a notch below. Such is the level of ability of this team. We're still not quite there yet. They are still a notch above. That one in Dedic. Forward we go, forward we go, forward we go. Kanuna's in the middle. Ferguson's there as well. And it'll come to Evan, holds it up, and Nusa, oh, what a save by Ederson. Amazing reactionary stop by the Brazilian to keep us still down by 1. Frustratingly, we've had a couple of good chances, just haven't been able to take them. Foden, oh, wow, that's amazing, that's amazing. As Rodrigo is dispossessed and he gets it straight back, and it's 2. Fofana converts, and yeah, we've made some amazing strides forward within the past 2 years, but we're still not at this level yet. It's incredible to think 7 seasons in, we're still not the best team in England despite winning the title last year. I mean, how long is it going to take before we can be, though? It's going to need like a Man City collapse because they're just that good. Scott, he's had a solid game despite conceding 2. Kicks it out wide to Tattoo. In the middle is Ferguson. There's Kanunan asking for it. I think he's just offside there. No, flag stays down. And the rifle finishes. Wow. Who was playing him on there? Was it the right back? Sorry, just want to see this. Scott kicks it quick. Tattoo controls. Plays it into Evan. Who was playing him on? Was he oh, look at that. Lionel's in perfect view. He's just on when that ball's played through. Oh, that's tight. I have to say personally, in the VAR era, I think that's disallowed. But stroke of luck, we'll take it. Looked like his arm was actually in an offside position. Ferguson! Oh, what a comeback! 2 in 4 minutes, and the Swans from 2-0 down have levelled at Wembley. 3 on the clock, Swans are going to complete an epic turnaround here. Jordan Boz, Kanunan this time definitely onside. Just getting it away from Araujo, and then wins it back, and Ferguson dives in, and Ederson pounces on the loose ball. Goodness gracious. A community shield for the ages. And you don't often remember these games, but we'll remember this one for a while. This has got a real feel to it, a real edge to it between 2 teams that don't like each other at all. Swans, the new kids on the block. Man City, the best team in England over the past decade. But what an edge to that final that was. Pens to separate the 2. Don't call this a glorified friendly between these 2 teams. They hate each other, man. This is going to be a nervy spot kicks, but come on, you Swans. Yeah, don't call this a glorified friendly. Don't tell me these 2 teams don't mind either way what happens here. Oh, it's Haaland smashed it in. There's bragging rights at stake. Pre-season friendlies, community shields, or FA Cup finals, it does not matter. These 2 teams do not like each other. Ferguson denied by Ederson, and Rodrigo scores. Clark goes the right way both times, but can't keep it out. And we're 2-0 down and on the brink early here. Zhao from the spot. He'll score, but we need a miracle here. There's Jude, who scored the first on the day. Oh, I've gone the right way with Clark every time, but he still hasn't got there. Nusa, you got to convert this, mate, otherwise it's community shield over. And he does. But Scott, I've gone the right way with you 3 in a row, man. I need you to make a save here. Oh, come on, what am I doing wrong? I'm not doing anything wrong. Carl with a wry smile on the bench right now saying, I would have saved these. I've gone around with Clark every single time, man. Tattoo, top bins, mate. Come on. Saved. That's so... I went the right way every single time. Oh! Alright, you can have your community shield, man, so you can take it, lads. But I'll tell you what, when we face you either at the Etihad or in Swansea, or possibly at Wembley again, we're going again, mate. That was class, that, honestly. What a start to the season. And that will do it for today's episode of the RTG Career, guys. So a big thank you for watching the opener of Season 7. And if you have enjoyed it, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And I'll see you for the next episode, where we'll begin our Premier League title defense with tough games against Chelsea and Manchester United. We'll have the draw for the Champions League group stage. And we're still around 118 million in the transfer budget. We'll make some more signs, I'm sure, with deadline day right around the corner. What a start to the season. Have a great day, much love, and I'll see you for the next episode of the RTG Career Mode very soon. Oh, that one hurt. That one hurt.